Hi guys, today we're going to be testing out a palette that I didn't even know existed until 2 days ago, and that was the day that it released. I saw it on Trendmood that morning and I jumped on it right away because I thought this was so beautiful. And this is the Sugar Crystals palette by Violet Voss, and this is what it looks like. It's absolutely stunning. It's got 6 mattes and 12 shimmers. I guess 6 times 2 is 12 math. So I'm really excited to dig into this. If you are new to my channel, you will probably know that I'm not the type of person who will go super into detail on the new palettes that I do test out. If you want to know more information about this product, I will leave the link down to Sephora's website down below so you can check it out yourself. But I'm just here to show you how this performs in real life and do some swatches, and then we're going to talk about it. So I think we should just get into the swatches first, and I'm of course going to swatch this like I always do, and it's the only way that really makes sense. So I'm gonna go from left to right, top to bottom, and I don't know if I'll be able to fit all of these on my arm, so maybe I will just do the mattes first and then I'll show you up close, and then I will wipe that off and do the shimmers after, because that way we might be able to see the difference in the shimmer formula a little bit better if I don't try to squeeze all of these on my arm at the same time. So let's do that. Alright, let's talk about these swatches. Now, I will say that the mattes needed a little bit of building up, but on my finger they felt extremely creamy and buildable, so that's exciting. I like those kind of formulas, so we're just gonna have to see how they perform on the eyes before making any assumptions. As for the shimmers, I thought the shimmers swatched so beautifully. They all seemed very, very smooth, and I can definitely tell that there are 2 different formulas here, so all of these top 6 right here are definitely way more pigmented, and then you have the bottom ones that are definitely more kind of like topper shades, but I feel like these might be really good as face highlighters too. So I did on purpose not put on a face highlighter because I wanted to try one of these shadows as my face highlighter. So let's do that real quick before we get into the eye look. And I think the one that I want to use is the top one, which is this one right here, and it is called Cotton Candy. So I'm gonna try that on my Sigma F03 brush. And that is actually quite beautiful. I think that looks pretty good actually, and that makes me so excited because I felt like having 2 different formulas that were so similar in color would kind of make me not want to use one or the other, if that makes any sense. So if I can use half of this palette or 12 out of the 18 shades as eyeshadows and then the other ones as face highlighters, that is amazing. So obviously I'm not going to know how all of these are going to look on my skin tone, but I feel like some of these might look good on fair skin tones and some of these might look better on dark skin tones, but definitely something to keep in mind that you can use these on your face as well, because this actually looks really, really, really nice. So I'm kind of really liking this as a face highlighter, and I wasn't sure if I would because I thought maybe it would be too dark on me, but I feel like this looks really, 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 really good. So let's get into trying these eyeshadow on the eyes, and I'm gonna prime my eyes like I always do.
If I could just find my primer.
So I'm going to use my MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre as always. So I want to try out as many of these shadows as humanly possible. Probably won't be able to try out all of them, but I'm definitely going to try out all of the mattes. So what I kind of have planned is that I want to do these 3 shades right here on one eye, and then I want to do these 3 on the other eye, and then I'm going to flip it on the lower lash line, and then we're going to put a bunch of these on the lid. So, you know, something like that. And I think I'm going to start off with this eye, and I'm going to take the yellow shade, which is called Banana. Figures, that's a good name for it. And I'll probably be using my Morphe E36 brush for all of the crease work. So I'm first going to put this in the inner third of my crease on this eye. I did not set my primer obviously because I want to give these colors the best chance they have to stick on. And so far this yellow seems nice and pigmented. I do have to build it up though, but I'm not really surprised because that's what happened on my arm when I swatched them too. So far it's looking pretty good. Next up I'm going to dip into Pear Berry.
What kind of name is that? Is that a fruit? Is that something I should know? Should I know what that is?
And we're going to be putting that in the middle of my crease. Ooh, that is beautiful. That's actually more of a peachy shade. feel like this palette is going to be so good for spring and summer. I'm literally so excited right now. And I know I always say I look forward to the summer when the winter is about to end, but I know that when the summer comes and we end up having like 110 degrees for 4 months, that I'm going to regret that and wish I never said it. But right now, I'm kind of wishing that summer was here. And these colors are blending into each other so beautifully. And for the outer part of my eye, I'm going to take Bubblegum, which is this beautiful neon pink, which is the shadow that swatched the best out of the mattes. And I'm just going to be packing that on the last part of my crease, as well as connecting it to the lid. And I'm also going to be filling in my outer corner. And for the other eye, I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to be using these 3 shades going in the same order. And these are called Mint Choco, Blue Ras, and Jelly Bean. Next, going to just work on blending out the upper edges here, and I'm going to use my Cosette S185 brush, and it's just a very, very fluffy brush, and I love it for doing work like this. I will say that just looking up close at this purple, it does seem a little bit sheer and it doesn't have like very full coverage. So just something to keep in mind, that you might not want to mix this into other shadows because the other shadow is going to show through. So yeah, I don't really have any problems with any of the other shadows except for the purple, but I mean, purples are very hard to formulate and it is definitely the shadow that I tend to have the most problems with. So, you know, I'm not saying that's an excuse for the shadow to be the way it is, but just an observation. And because I want to be a rebel, I'm literally going to do the exact opposite with these shadows here. So on this side, I'm going to go in with these 3 in that order. And then on this side, I'm going to go in with these 3 in this order.
I hope that made sense at all.
But I'm going to do that, and I'm not going to tell you every time I switch color because that's going to take forever. So in between every time I switch color, I'm going to spray my brush with some Fix Plus because I always do that with my shimmers. And then when I'm done with the lids, I'll come back and I'll tell you what I plan on doing for my lower lash line because I'm not really like 100% sure, but I think I know what to do. So I know I'm all over the place, but let's try out some of these shimmers now. I'm sorry about that, my camera shut off and I'm not exactly sure where I was, but so far I've put on all these 3 shades on my lid, so I've used these 3, and these are all beautiful. I will say that the purple is definitely a little bit more sheer than the 2 greens, but it's probably because it's a bit more of a kind of sheer topper, but I mean, it's still a beautiful shadow, but I probably wouldn't use it in my outer corner again. So let's go in on this side now, and I'm first going to take the shade right here, which is called Strawberry, then I'm going to go in with Orange Cream and then Lemon Drop. Okay, so first impression wise with all of these shimmers, I want to say that they're not as opaque as I wanted them to be. I mean, looking at the pan, I kind of figured that the middle row would be super intense and foiled and very opaque, but that's not really the case. I'm usually one who doesn't always like to go in and do cut creases, so the first time I try out a palette, I usually like to not do a cut crease to see how it's going to layer on top of mattes, because if I have a shimmer, let's say Juvia's Place, I know that I can layer any shimmer Juvia's Place on top of a matte and make it look like a cut crease, but With these, I can't really do that because I can still sort of see underneath where my crease color is. So it's not really a bad thing, it's just that that's how this formula is. So on my lower lash line, I'm basically going to reverse what I did in my crease on the other eye. So on this eye, I'm first going to go in with the yellow and the orange and the pink, and then on this side, I'm going to go in with the blue, the other blue and the purple. And then just for a little bit of fun, I'm going to go in with these two shades here in my inner corners. So I guess this one is going on...
Wow, I'm so confused right now.
I think it's going on this side, so I'm going to take this one on this side and then this one on that side. Wow, that is beautiful. Oh my god. I was not expecting that. That is literally stunning. These are going to be the perfect inner corner shades, I can already tell.
Wow. That's intense.
I cannot stop staring at this inner corner highlight right here. Now this one is pretty as well. I did try it first dry and I definitely needed to spray it to make it really pop. But when I did, I mean, these are just so pretty. I can't get over it. So I think I did pretty good. There's only 3 shadows in here now that I have not tried, and it is this one, and this one. The rest I have on my eyes or my face, so I'd say that is a success. And so far I'm really liking how this is looking, so I'm going to finish up the rest of my eyes now. I think in my waterline I want to do white, and I'm going to use my NYX retractable eyeliner. And I'm going to just go off camera and finish up the rest of my eyes, and then I'll come back and we can put on a lipstick and then talk a little bit more about this palette. Alright, the eye look is all done and I am loving this so much. Oh my god, this is so fun. So for lipstick, I'm going to put on Doll Parts by Jeffree Star, which is just a pink. So I think this is going to go pretty good with this look. Now this is getting pretty dried out and I probably need to buy a new one. So this is going to be the absolutely completed look. Let's talk a little bit more about this palette now. First off, I want to just talk about the mattes, and I want to say that I was pretty impressed by the mattes. Now obviously I haven't tried to really like mix them together and do a lot of blending and stuff. I just patted them down and gently blended the edges, but so far, first impression wise, I was really happy with all of them except for the purple, which is just because it was a little bit sheer, but that's really nice to know that maybe next time I won't be trying to layer it on top of a blue or something like that, and I will probably be using it more with the pinks and maybe the orange. But other than that, I really liked all the mattes and I thought they performed just as good on the lower lash line as they did on top, and they're also very buildable, which I really appreciate. As for the shimmers, I thought there would be a bigger difference between these and these. But obviously I have not tried these enough to really know. I did try them on my face and they're beautiful, and in the inner corner they're
Beautiful.
I'm not sure I would really use these on my lid unless I did a cut crease and I had something to put them on top of. Or I could also use these as topper shades because they aren't as opaque as these are. Now, I will say I wish that these were a little bit more opaque than they were, and I wish that I didn't have to do cut creases with them if I wanted to make it look like a cut crease, but that is just me speaking. I still think they are absolutely beautiful shadows, and I'm really excited about playing more with this palette because I think it has so much potential. And if you are new to my channel, you probably don't know this, but I am such a sucker for monochromatic looks, and it's something that I love to do. So I will probably be doing a lot of that in the summer and stuff, and I can't wait to do that with this palette because this is perfect for that. And I'm also going to do a Thriller 12 palette with this, which will probably be up in the next 2 or 3 days, so keep an eye out for that. And if you are not already subscribed and you want to see that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So I think that's all I wanted to say. I am really happy with this palette. I think it's absolutely stunning, and it was pretty easy to work with. I didn't really have any problems overall, so yeah, I would definitely say if you're thinking about this palette, I think you might like it. Maybe stay tuned for the final review, which will be in the 3 Looks 1 palette video. I don't want to recommend this palette to you yet because I haven't played with it enough, but I mean, I am really happy I have it, and I think that you might be happy to have it as well if you did have it. But just in case I do happen to have some problems when I do my 3 looks, I definitely want to save my review for the end of that video. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. Let me know if you were thinking about picking up this palette and if my video was helpful at all. I hope it was. So thank you so much for watching. As always, if you are new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.